Hey there, this is Ill Factor from Beat Academy, and I'm going to be teaching you how to produce and release your very own EP as an independent artist over the next few weeks. I'm super grateful for this opportunity to help the recording revolution community with their music, so big shout out to Graham, and thanks for letting me jump on the channel. Now, whether you're brand new to making music or you've been making music for years, making and releasing your own EP is one of the best ways to challenge yourself and produce something that will take all of your music skills to the next level. So in today's video, I'm going to walk you through 10 steps to making and releasing an EP. And these are the same 10 steps Graham and I went through when we made our EP last year titled The Good Life. So step one for making an EP is planning your EP. You need to have a strategy. And this is arguably the most important step for making and releasing an EP. And not having this is the reason most people never get their EP finished or released. Here are some things you need to do in the planning phase. So, tip number one, set a deadline. No, better yet, decide on releasing a date for your EP. By having a deadline, it will encourage and motivate you to be creative and get things done. If you don't set a deadline, it is very easy to fall into a trap of procrastinating and constantly chasing perfection. I often like to give myself a deadline of 90 days for an EP, and that's what I usually recommend. Tip number two, determine what your EP is going to be about. What are you trying to achieve with your EP? By getting clear on your purpose for making this EP, it will make the process far more enjoyable and you're far more likely to succeed. So, tip number three, set a budget for your EP. How much money are you willing to spend on this EP? What do you actually need to spend money on? And what can you do yourself with what you already have? By figuring this out early on, it will prevent a situation where you're only able to half finish your EP because you ran out of money. An easy way to determine how much your EP will cost is to list out which aspects of the EP making you will need to hire someone else for. And then you can find out the costs using sites like soundbetter.com, for example. If you plan on doing everything yourself, but you just need a guitarist and a mixing engineer, you can find guitarists and mixing engineers on soundbetter.com and see what they charge. Now, step two for making and releasing an EP is all about collaborators. Working with collaborators will hold you accountable to getting your EP finished and make it so much easier to finish your EP. Collaborators can be in the form of co-producers, vocalists, session musicians, but really the point here is to have someone who is going to hold you accountable to completing your EP. So even if you plan on doing everything yourself, share your deadline with someone you trust or with an online community who will hold you accountable and provide valuable feedback when you need it. Now, step three is making song skeletons. Now, this step is all about trying out musical ideas that will later form the basis of your EP. And some tips I have for this is to browse through drum loops, try out different chord progressions and different sounds, and you will start to find things that you vibe with. Then you can try singing some gibberish over those basic sounds or chord progressions just to get a feel for what direction your EP should go in. I recommend first coming up with about 6 to 10 song ideas, then reducing those down to the strongest 4 to 5 for your EP. Then develop those 4 to 5 song ideas further in terms of their structure and arrangement. And now step number 4 is writing lyrics and melodies. And if you didn't already do so when you were making your song skeletons, this is where you finish your lyric and melody ideas for the songs that you've chosen. If you struggle with doing both, some tips here would be to figure out your melodies first. It's far easier to find words to fit a pre-existing melody than the other way around. So just sing gibberish or whatever you want over your song skeletons and get some melody ideas down. The melody is what's going to attract and hook the listener in, and the lyrics are what keep them there. And a great tip Graham has for lyrics is just tell the truth and make it rhyme. Now, step 5 is recording and producing. This is where you'll want to go through your song skeletons and complete them into full productions. This includes recording lead vocals, backing vocals, additional sounds, recording instrumentation that you didn't get around to when you were just coming up with the initial creative process. You're essentially turning your demos or song skeletons, as I call them, into finalized productions. Step 6 is mixing your songs. Mixing is all about getting your songs to sound well balanced. And this includes determining where the vocals and each sound and instrument in your song should sit in the mix, into relationship with one another. Do you want the drums to be the loudest element of your song, or do you want the piano, or do you want the llama that's in the backyard? I mean, it all depends, because what is going to be the focal point of your song. So mixing also involves adding effects such as reverb, delays, compression, EQ. Do you want your vocals to sound intimate and raw, or do you want them to sound epic and atmospheric? So mixing is often what takes up the most time in making an EP, because it has such a huge impact in how your song sounds. It also becomes very tempting to keep adjusting knobs and settings to make things just right. So my advice would be to find reference songs on Spotify that are similar to your songs and use those as a guide for how your mix should sound. Now, step 7 is mastering your songs. Mastering is the final step of making any song. Mastering is all about taking your finished mixes and then getting them to a commercial volume and giving them that polish and sheen that instantly grabs your listener's attention. Now, you could either master your songs yourself using plugins, or you could send your mixes off to a mastering engineer, or you can use online mastering software like Lander or eMastered. And for my EP with Graham, we just used eMastered. You simply upload your song and instantly masters your song and allows you to make a few tweaks. And we were actually really happy with the results. And it's the most cost-effective way to master your EP. Step 8 is getting your EP ready. This is where you'll want to sequence your songs. This means determining the order of your songs. I recommend at least having an exciting track as track number 1 to hook your listener in. And then you'll want to strike a balance between having contrast between the songs and making sure they flow nicely. And at this stage, you'll also want to make the EP cover art. This is the artwork that will show when someone is playing your song in a streaming service. And you can use free online software such as Canva to make your cover art, which is what Graham and I did for our EP. Step 9 is distributing your EP. Distributing simply means just making sure your EP is available for consumption. Today, that means uploading your EP to the streaming services such as Spotify and Apple Music and many more so that people can listen to it. It can also include getting CDs made for people to buy. Now, Graham and I use DistroKid to distribute our EP, and it's about $20 a year for unlimited songs, and they will upload your songs, EPs, or albums to all the streaming services for you. And I advise you stick with one digital distributor. If you use multiple distributors, for example, using DistroKid and then CD Baby, it can create a bit of a mess where you have to duplicate listings and they can be really difficult to get cleared up. And step 10 is promoting your EP. You want to make some noise about your EP in order to get it heard. Let's celebrate this. I highly recommend building anticipation for your EP on social media a month in advance leading up to the release. Upload teasers for your songs and share your story on how you made your EP to get people excited to hear it. There are also sites like Submit Hub that let you pitch your songs to blog owners and playlist curators. But my advice here would actually be a word of caution. Unfortunately, there are a lot of scams out there that will promise to get you lots of listeners for your songs. And so if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And make sure to do lots of research on the experiences people have had with any promotional services. So while it's a slow method, a solid way to build up a following is to continually make friends with other like-minded artists or producers and promote each other's music to your audiences. So there you have it. Those are the 10 steps to making and releasing an EP. Now, I want to give you a gift. I've put together a PDF guide that goes through these 10 steps, along with some additional tips and links to tools and services that we recommend. It's something that you can print out and use as a checklist when making your EP to ensure you stay on track. Graham and I will also be reopening our course, The EP Blueprint, where we show you step by step how we made our EP and show you how to do the same. Just go to therecordingrevolution.com/EP guide or click the link in the description below to download the free guide. You'll also then be notified when we reopen the EP Blueprint later this month. I'll be posting more videos this month here on the channel to help you make and release your own EP. So if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe to the channel, and then let me know in the comments below what you would like to know about making and releasing an EP. So until next time, I'll see you there.